Today we're making the perfect little treat that's either great for breakfast, after school snack, or if you have a special occasion like a wedding shower or a baby shower, you can make these incredible gluten-free pecan scones.
Yum!
So let's get started. All right, so the ingredients are gluten-free flour. So we have a cup and a half of the flour. And Meg, what we're going to use today, we're using our food processor. But if you don't have a food processor to blend all of the ingredients together, trusty, dusty, this is a pastry blender. All right, get your muscles out there, girls and boys. So it's good. So go ahead, Megan. We're going to just add all the dry ingredients into the food processor right now. And so that is the cup and a half of the
gluten-free flour.
It's a gluten-free flour. Then we have a quarter cup of coconut flour because, hello, we're coconuts.
Well, we like adding the flour. It's really good fiber, and it gives it a really yummy flavor when it comes to baking.
Yep. And then we have a quarter cup of fresh ground flax seeds.
Key. Freshly grind them.
Really good for us. So it's like a beneficial treat, totally.
Yeah. And you want to fresh grind them, though. You don't want to have them already ground because it has the most nutrient.
Well, and they actually get toxic the longer they're sitting out. Okay. So now we have about anywhere from a half a cup to a cup of fresh ground pecans. All right.
And this is just creating a pecan flour. So if you don't want to freshly grind your pecan flours or you prefer another nut, you could use hazelnut meal, almond meal. We just really love the pecan flavor. It's like, it's so, or walnuts even. It has that, the creaminess. And it's good.
100%. And so now for the flavoring, we're going to, and then here, this
She's
is,
so excited.
I know, I'm so excited for the flavoring, but this is a teaspoon of baking powder.
Baking powder.
And then we're going to
let
add,
them get fluffy.
And then this is coconut sugar. Again, it's lower on the index for
glycemic index
for your sugars.
But it still gives it a good sweetness, and it's like because of the color, it's kind of like that molassesy brown sugar kind of flavor.
And you can totally use brown sugar in this, and that is anywhere from a third to a half of a cup. Again, if you're watching your sugar, a third of a cup works just as well as the half.
I'm a halfer.
Yeah. And then this is a teaspoon of cinnamon. All right. So Meg, you're going to put the top on it, blend all the flours and the dry ingredients together.
Get it on right.
I know.
And then we're going to pulse it.
Yeah, we're just going to pulse that. I'm going to move this out of the way.
Thank you.
That's perfect. So the next thing that we're going to do is you want cold butter. This is 5 tablespoons of cold butter, and this is where we go ahead and Meg's gonna start pulsing it, and I'm gonna add it like one at a time. So I just put it in because if we added it all at once, it'd just be like this mushy kind of soft mess. And this was great when the kids were growing up. This was their job. They'd cut it in squares for me, and they would just continue to add. You can keep pulsing.
Okay, well, I was going to say the cold butter allows it to get those little balls and peels and breaks up. That's why you want to keep the butter cold.
And the other reason that you want the coldness for is the flakiness. Okay, because this is what's making it flaky. Okay. And then all we're doing is getting it, like what Meg said, is kind of pea-like, but sometimes it doesn't actually look pea-like. It just is a well-incorporated
And peas
butter.
as in like dinner peas. Little balls.
So once that's all done, I have a medium-sized bowl, and we're going to then take it and pour it in this medium-sized bowl.
How's it look?
That's looking excellent. Let's go ahead and, that looks very good.
We done?
It doesn't take very long. It does take longer with your pastry blender, and so we're just going to take this and be careful of the knife. I'm always the blade. And you want to make sure. Sometimes it sticks around the edges, so we want to make sure we get
it all.
last bit. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that's what it looks like. So you can see it's kind of grainy looking, but all the butter's nicely incorporated. So I'm going to set that aside. And now what I'm going to take is all the wet ingredients. So we have an egg. I'm going to pour that in our little bowl here. We have a half a cup of, this happens to be hazelnut milk, but again, you can use hemp milk, almond milk.
We actually have a really delicious homemade nut milk.
Oh yeah,
that you can make, and fresh is best.
It's really good. And then this is 2 tablespoons of 100% maple syrup.
Ooh, it's also adding a little bit of sweetness to
And
it.
it just give it that like kind of
Flavor. Could you do maple extract?
Oh, yes, if you don't have any, but you could. And this is vanilla extract. This is a teaspoon or more, whatever you like, of the vanilla extract. And I'm just going to blend this all together.
Whisk it up.
Whisk it all in. And then we'll put that in the middle. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make a little well. Okay? And we're using a fork to blend it. And actually, once we pour this in, you do not want to over mix this, all right?
Because you want to leave the butter. That's the whole thing, is you want to keep the butter as cold as possible.
Nope.
Oh.
It's just you don't want to, but that's good. Good guess, Meg.
Well,
but it's
actually,
good. No. Baking is a science. It really is a science. It makes or break it. But the whole part about just gently incorporating the wet with the dry is so if we were to over mix this, it becomes tough and dry. So we're just wetting the mixture together, and I'm just bringing it together like this, maybe a few folds, and you can see it's just coming together really nicely.
Nicely incorporated.
And then
So gentle. She's the master with this. I'm still
well,
baker in training.
I've had a few more years, just a few, right?
Just a few.
All right. So now I'm going to set it aside.
Oh, that's it. Wait, I want to get a good look at this. See, it's like, it kind of looks like it could use some more mixing, but
You don't want to mix it.
done.
Yep. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take a wooden board. So like people have beautiful marble, things to roll dough out. You could use that. We also have a piece of muslin that we roll our pie doughs out. You can use that.
Pegs has this beautiful butcher block countertop, but she refuses to
Actually,
use it.
we could totally use it, but I wanted to lift up a little bit. So, anywho, so this is just some extra flour. You really want to make sure that your board is well floured, as are your hands, because this is a sticky dough. And then what we're gonna do is take this, and Meg's gonna pour it right here in the middle.
The whole thing?
So I'm gonna just kind of incorporate. Let me just take this, put it out, a nice little ball, smush it together. So you can see how it's like nice and holding together, but it is sticky, all right? And so I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna put,
Let's get all this.
all right, that's good. Okay, so now I'm gonna take and just shape it into a nice little round here, so I can still move it, but I'm going to make sure my hands are nice, and then I'm going to just pat it down to about half inch, maybe a little bit more. So look at how nice it just looks like this, right?
And I was thinking, could you put like fruit in here?
Oh my gosh, 100%. Yes, you can add fresh blueberries or dried blueberries, cranberries.
Yeah.
All right. You can actually add more nuts to this too. So now you have
Chocolate
choice. Yes, chocolate chip scones. Those little mini ones would be perfect.
So yummy.
So you have different sizes. So you have, like a 2-inch and a 4-inch. All right. These do not spread very much, so you're good, with whatever size. And then if it's like Valentine's Day or a special holiday you want to give, Mother's Day or anything, you can make heart-shaped scones. All right.
Or if you just want to love yourself, Eve.
That's right. So this too needs to be well floured. So I'm just flouring this. And then you want to work from the outside in. Okay? So now we're just going to cut them. And we have, sitting next to us,
A parchment-lined baking sheet. And again, we love using parchment paper. Easy cleanup.
it's amazing, right? And they come in sheets now, so it's totally great.
Pre-cut
Right.
sheets.
And then I'm just going to take them and put them on. So each one you want to make sure that you cut here, lift up here, and then you just give yourself like a good inch of
They're pretty thick.
space.
So you want them about an inch or so thick, or half an inch.
Well, and you can make them however thick you really want. And then like here, if you want to do your heart-shaped ones, we can do, a couple heart-shaped ones, and they're just
bite-sized
like so
scones.
cute. Once you've cut out all your scones, and now what we're going to do is just do like a little egg wash. All right?
This makes it nice and glazed looking.
And then Meg's here going to just go ahead and sprinkle some with cinnamon sugar. And if you have, you know those crystallized sugar sprinkles? For Easter we made this, and I added the prettiest, colorful, gluten-free sprinkles on top.
Like
and
pastel colors.
It
You can
made
find
them
online.
Yeah, and not the balls. These like actually don't really have too much flavor, but add a really beautiful addition to your scone and a festivity. It's just like super cute.
Yeah, it's depending on if it's a holiday.
Yeah. The oven's been preheating at 375, and again, depending on your oven temperature, these will take anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes. We're gonna put them in the oven right now. Let's do it. The scones have been cooling for, probably a good 20 minutes,
Yeah,
so they're
they're
nice. And when you go to pull out the scones, test it by just seeing that, your finger's not going to go through it, but that it just kind of feels like it's nice and firm to the touch. And so these are ready to go. It's just, it's beautiful. And so this is a wonderful presentation, again, for any kind of special occasion or for just breakfast because you love yourself so much and you love your family and you want to give them something extra special.
Yeah, they're not too sweet. They're great with coffee or jam. We actually have a homemade jam video that you can watch.
Yeah, homemade strawberry jam.
So good.
So you can get this full recipe on currygirlskitchen.com. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. And if you don't subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe down below. And every Wednesday, you too can get a wonderful recipe like this that you can share with your family anytime.
Or friends.
Yeah.
So good, Mom. I love it. You can taste the pecans, a little bit of sugar.